Children, how are you? So it is a good sign that some of the students are responding to my videos and practicing at home. I appreciate those students. Now let us discuss class 9th chapter 1 cell part 4. In the previous class we were discussing about cell theory. So it was proposed by N.J. Sladen and Theodore Schwann in the 1839, and just recall the points. So the first point in the cell theory, cell is a basic unit of light. Cell is a basic unit of light. The second one, children, all the living things are made up of cells. All the living things are made up of cells. Okay, children. And third point, we discussed that the living things chemical composition also same. As you know that we discussing cell structure. When we are discussing cell structure, in the cell structure we discussed the middle of the cell having a nucleus. In that genetic material, either DNA or RNA is present. So most of 99.99% are all the living things, we can say, having genetic material, that is a chemical composition, we can say. So every living thing is made up of cells, and cells having same chemical composition, more or less same chemical. If you generalize to DNA and RNA, it will be 100%. So these are the nucleic or genetic material. So nucleus, we discussed, it is the brain of the cell, control functions in the cell. So all the cells in the world having either DNA or RNA. So we can say most cells having similar chemical composition. And the important point when it comes to fourth point, Sladen and Schwann, a botanist and zoologist, proposed cell theory, but they didn't explain where the cells are coming from. So this has become a question mark. Where the cells are coming? Cells are coming from. So nobody knows how these are evolved. Nobody knows. But in the year of 1853, a Russian scientist called Rudolf Virchow proposed a point. This is nothing but called as, he told that the new cells, these are the, if you think it's new cells arising from its pre-existing cell, means it is the cell A, means the two new cells are coming from A as B and C. Again, the B produced the other new two cells D and E. C produced F and G. It means these two are coming from this one is coming from this. Means the cells are, these are the new cells, these are the older ones. So new cells arising from pre-existing cells. Simple thing, children. We have given birth by our parents are given birth by our grandparents. Like that, how we are taking birth in the same manner, cells are arising. If you take, sir, if you ask a question, sir, then what about the first starting point? So the first starting point is origin of life, children. In the origin of life, how the cell has taken birth, it is a big story. So you have to remember that simply new cells are arising from pre-existing cells. And he has given the term called omnis. In the Latin, children, omnis cellula e cellula. So omnis cellula e cellula means new cells arising or arises from pre-existing cells. Pre-existing means already before that. We can say in Telugu antaku mundunna. So what you have to understand here, new cells arising from pre-existing cells. So these are the four important points you have to learn from the cell theory. Now let us discuss two important points today, children. That is, organisms are made up of cells, but how many cells are present in each organism? So basing upon number of cells, basing upon what, children? Number of cells. All the organisms are divided into two kinds. One is unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms, and the other organisms are called as multicellular organisms. Very simple, children. Here uni means one. Uni means how many, children? One. Cell, so one cell. Organism means living thing. So what you have to understand? If an organism is made up of only one cell, it is called unicellular organisms, and also called acellular organisms. Why it is called acellular? Because the cell itself body. The cell itself what, children? Body. When a cell dies, automatically the living cell dies. For example, if you take an example of amoeba, so in the 8th class we have observed the protozoans amoeba. So if amoeba dies, what happens? The entire living thing also dies. Means it will not exist. But when it comes to multicellular organisms, so the organism multi means more, children. Multi means more number. Cellular, so more number of cells are present. It is called as, if the living thing is made up of more than one cell, it is called as what? Multicellular organisms. So like plants, animals, pig, trees, everything is multicellular organisms. So if we take an example of human, if he is weight about 60 kg, for example, you are about 60 kg, or a person is about 60 kg weight. In his body, nearly 100 trillions of cells are present. 100 trillions of cells means more number of cells are present in a living thing. This is called as what? Multicellular organisms. If the cell is made up of only one cell, it is called unicellular. It has its own advantage. Children. Here, what is the disadvantage? So if a cell dies, it will also die. What is an advantage? These cells, amoeba, generally unicellular, are called immortals in the world. Mortal means don't have death. Why they are immortal? If you kill, they die, but naturally they don't die. We die. When we become old age, then we will die. But amoeba don't die. Why? When they are going to face critical conditions, simply it multiply, means reproduce into new cells. By that it continue its life, because in the world the amoeba are called as immortal organisms. And disadvantage, just we said, if it die, automatically die. But when it comes to multicellular, if you are get injured, if your skin is scraped out, or you are injured, fractured, what happens to your leg, hand? You will not die. These cells will damage, and again you work automatically. So when a damage takes place in the multicellular organisms, the other cells, other systems take care. But in the simple unicellular organisms, they don't have that ability. So both have their advantages and disadvantages. So once again I want to say the examples. In the unicellular organisms, you can take examples of amoeba, bacteria, blue-green algae, etc. Multicellular, which are made up of many cells, is nothing but called as plants, animals, and whatever we can see with our naked eye. Those are all multicellular organisms. Children, now basing upon, so it is what, children? Basing upon number. Now the living things cells are divided, are classified basing upon the nuclear material. That is what? DNA and RNA. So basing upon nuclear material condition, the cells are divided into two kinds. One is called prokaryotes. What, children? Prokaryotes. Second one is called, children, eukaryotes. So these are Latin terminology, children. You have to understand eukaryotes. So what does it mean, children? Both are new terms, prokaryotes and eukaryotes.
30 seconds.
Prokaryotes and eukaryotes, within next period we'll discuss. So we'll continue. Okay? So, right.